Well, hello there. Sion Batson here from Sion Batson Tutoring, and in this video, we will be solving one-step equations. Now, very important, this is part 2 of the series. In part 1 of the series, all of our solutions were positive. In part 2 of the series, our solutions will include some negative integers. So I recommend that you go check out part 1 first, grasp the concept, and then join me for part 2. Yes? Good. Now let's go. Now this exercise is out of my 7th grade math workbook. You can master 7th grade math next generation learning standards. This workbook covers all of the next generation learning standards as well as all of the Common Core learning standards for 7th grade. This workbook is filled with very simple and easy to follow notes, step-by-step examples, guided examples, and more than 1100 practice problems and answers. Parents love this workbook. Students love this workbook. And the teachers love this workbook because it is a great resource for extra practice at home, for homework help, and it is the ultimate study guide to help your scholars get ready for the 7th grade state exam. So if you have a 7th grader, I would highly recommend that you get them a copy. You can get your copy from Amazon. Now, to our exercise. When solving a one-step equation, our ultimate goal will be to get the variable we are solving for positive and on a side by itself. Yes, that's our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal will be to get the variable we are solving for positive and on a side by itself. Now, to get the variable by itself, we will have to get rid of an unwanted company. Yes? Now, to get rid of the unwanted company, we will use the opposite operation. Now, very important. Whatever the opposite operation is, we must perform that operation on both sides of the equation. Yes? Very important. Whatever the opposite operation is, we must perform that operation on both sides of the equation. For example, if the opposite operation is to subtract 4, we must subtract 4 from both sides of the equation. If the opposite operation is to add 5, we must add 5 to both sides of the equation. So far, so good? Great. Let's go to our first example here. First equation, we have x plus 5 is equal to negative 7. Now note how the equal sign splits or breaks the equation into two sides, a left side and a right side. Our variable x is on the left side. So our goal here will be to get the x on the left side by itself. Yes? Our ultimate goal here will be to get the x by itself on the left side. Now, to get the x by itself, we will have to get rid of an unwanted company. In this example, the unwanted company is 5. Yes? Look what happens. If I get rid of this 5, the x will be on the left side by itself. Yes? How do we get rid of the unwanted company? How do we get rid of this 5? Well, to get rid of the unwanted company, we will use the opposite operation. Now, since this 5 is adding, we will subtract 5 to get rid of this 5 because the opposite of addition is subtraction. So we will subtract 5 here to get rid of this 5. 5 take 5 is 0. And that's the purpose of the opposite operation. The opposite operation gets rid of or eliminates the unwanted company. We aren't finished though. Remember, whatever the opposite operation is, we must perform that operation on both sides of the equation. So if I subtract 5 from the left side, I must subtract 5 from the right side as well. And after subtracting, I'm left with, on the left side, x will be by itself, equal sign, and -7, -5 gives me -12. Mission accomplished. Our variable is on the left side by itself. It's positive and it's by itself. So we have accomplished our goal. Now, if you need to practice adding and subtracting in integers, I recommend you go check out the video adding and subtracting integers so you can grasp this skill. Yes? Okay. How was that? Good? Let's try our next one. So let's say we have -2y is equal to 14. Again, in our example here, we have to solve for y. The y is on the left side. So our goal will be to get the y on the left side by itself. Yes? Now, to get the y by itself, we will have to get rid of this -2. If I get rid of that -2, the y will be by itself. How do I get rid of this -2? Well, remember that -2y is the same as -2 times y. So the -2 is multiplying the y. So since the -2 is multiplying the y, I will have to divide by -2 to get rid of this -2. Why? Because the opposite of dividing, the opposite of multiplying is to divide. Yes? Now, -2 divided by -2 gives me +1. We aren't finished. If I divide on the left side by -2, I also have to divide on the right side by -2. And what's left? On the left side, we have 1y. And on the right side, 14 divided by -2 is -7. Yes? Again, if you need to practice dividing integers, I have a video for you. Go check out the rules. Go make sure you understand the concept well. And you can always come back and join us here. Yes? So, after dividing by -2, 1y is equal to -7, or we can say y is equal to -7 because 1y and y is the same thing, yeah? So our solution, y is equal to -7. Again, our goal is accomplished. The y is on the left side by itself. So far, so good? All right. I'm going to do one more, and then it will be your turn to shine. Let's say I have -7, yes, is equal to x minus, let's say 10. How is that? Now, in this example, the variable is on the right side of the equation. So our goal here will be to get the x by itself on the right side. Now, to get the x by itself, I'll have to get rid of an unwanted company. Can you tell me what the unwanted company is in this example? Very good. This -10 right here. This 10 that is subtracting from the x. How are we going to get rid of this 10? Very good. We are going to add, because since the 10 is subtracting from the x, we will have to add 10. Why? Because the opposite of subtraction is addition. Very good, my friends. So we add 10. And again, if we add 10 here, we will get 0. Because -10 plus 10 is 0. So the x is by itself on the right side. But we aren't done, right? Remember, if we add 10 on the right side, we must also add 10 on the left side. And -7 plus 10 will give us +3. So x is equal to 3. So we have accomplished our goal. The x is on the right side by itself. Now again, if you need to practice adding and subtracting integers, go check out the video adding and subtracting integers. Okay, very important part of mastering this concept of solving one-step equations. All right, let's keep it going. It's a very simple concept here. All we have to keep in mind is our goal is to get the variable that we are solving for on a side by itself, positive, and on a side by itself. To get the variable by itself, we'll just have to get rid of an unwanted company. To get rid of the unwanted company, we will use the opposite operation. Very simple process. Yes, my friends. Now, look right here. Now, I know here, you guys will be tempted to say, well, what is the problem? X is by itself. Uh-oh. Remember, in this example, x is negative. Our goal is to get x positive and by itself. So you say, well, the x is there alone by itself. Sion, what is the problem? It's negative. So we have to make it positive. Okay? Now, remember, whenever a variable is by itself, what is always hiding? A 1. So negative x is the same as negative 1x. So we have negative 1x here is equal to negative 10. So to get this x positive and by itself, we'll have to get rid of this negative 1. And remember, negative 1 is the same as, negative 1x is the same as negative 1 times x. So this negative 1 is multiplying the x. Since the negative 1 is multiplying the x, we will have to divide by negative 1 to get rid of the negative 1. The opposite of division is, the opposite of multiplication is division. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we will divide by negative 1. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is positive 1. So we have our x positive. But we aren't finished. If we divide the left side by negative 1, we also have to divide on the right side by negative 1. And negative 10 divided by negative 1 will give us positive 10. So our answer is 1x is equal to 10, or x is equal to 10. Because we know that 1x and x, same term, yeah? So far, so good? All right. Your turn to shine. Your turn to put the pedal to the metal. Do. X plus 10 is equal to negative 3. Pause the video, or if you need to, you can go back and watch the examples that we worked earlier and then come back, okay? But pause the video, give it a try, and then come back and let's see if we get the same answer. Just follow our process, or your goal will be to get the variable by itself. To get the variable by itself, you'll have to get rid of an unwanted company. To get rid of the unwanted company, we will have to use the opposite operation. Whatever the opposite operation is, you must perform that operation on both sides of the equation. Very simple process, very simple. Pause the video, give it a try, and come back. All right, welcome back. Let's see if we get the same answer. I believe in you, so I'm positive that we got the same answer. So our goal here will be to get the x on the left side by itself. However, the x has company, 10. The x doesn't like company. The x wants to be by itself. So we are asked to get rid of this 10. How are we going to get rid of the 10? Well, since the 10 is adding, we will subtract, because the opposite of addition is subtraction. So we will subtract to get rid of this 10. So we subtract 10, and 10 minus 10 is 0. So that 10 is gone. So the x is by itself on the left side. However, we aren't finished. Yes? Remember, if we subtract 10 on the left side, we have to subtract 10 on the right side. So minus 3 minus 10 gives us minus 13. I'm going to emphasize this again. If you need to practice your integers, if you need to review your integers, please go check that video out, adding and subtracting integers. Okay? So, our solution here, x is equal to negative 13. I know we got the same answer, so all I'm going to say is, good job. I believed in you, and you came through for me. Thank you. Can we do one more? Yes, let's do one more, and then we will be done. Let's say we have x over 5 is equal to negative 7. I want you to try this one. What, you thought I was going to work this? No, you try this one right here. Pause the video, give it a try, follow our process. If you follow the process, I can guarantee you that you will get the correct answer. All right, pause the video, give it a try, and come back. Okay, welcome back. Let's see if we will get the same answer. So in this example, our x again is on the left side. Our goal will be to get the x positive and by itself on the left side. X has company, yes? So to get the x by itself, we'll have to get rid of this 5. If we get rid of this 5, x will be on the left side by itself. The question is, how do I get rid of the 5? Well, remember what the process says. We always use the opposite operation to get rid of the unwanted company. The 5x over 5 is the same as x divided by 5. So this 5 is dividing the x. This is the same as, yes, x divided by 5. So to get rid of the 5, we will have to multiply on the left side by 5 because the opposite of division is multiplication. So if I multiply the left side by 5, there's going to be a 1 left here. So I have 1x. If I multiply the left side by 5, I have to multiply on the right side by 5 as well. Negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. Because the negative times the positive is a negative. So we have 1x is equal to negative 35 for x is equal to negative 35. Very simple process. Yeah, very simple process. Very important concept. You must master one-step equations before you go on to two-step equations. So I recommend you watch this video as many times as you want to until you master this concept. If you want to practice more, remember this exercise is out of my 7th grade math workbook. You can master 7th grade math, Next Generation Learning Standards. The workbook is available on Amazon. More than 1,100 practice problems and answers. I really hope that you find this video helpful and useful. Until next time, enjoy your math homework and remember to practice, practice, practice. See you.